And we welcome you back to the arena where tonight it is the 1,000th game in the great coaching tenure of Greg Kampe for Oakland. He is in his 33rd year coaching this program, 577 career wins. In fact, he is the third longest tenured coach at a D1 school. The only one that he trails, Jim Boeheim and Mike Krzyzewski. Greg Kampe really is Oakland basketball. He's had a phenomenal career with the Golden Grizzlies and coaching 1,000 games here tonight. Unbelievable.
Yeah, he's just done a great job. And where's the white suit for the whiteout?
He could have gone with a white suit tonight. He did not, but the Oakland Golden Grizzlies in their white uniforms tonight, as everybody in the crowd was given a white shirt. And when the Grizzlies wear these uniforms, they are 7-2 this season. Second matchup between Valparaiso and Oakland is underway. And the Road Crusaders will control the basketball first. They're 5-3 on the road so far this year, but lost the first matchup against Oakland at home back on January 6th.
And Oakland starting off a very aggressive man-to-man defense. When Alec Peters gets a touch, he's going to likely get double-teamed. He's going to see all kinds of different defensive looks.
Alec Peters misses the first shot of the game. And now the Oakland Golden Grizzlies on offense. They're playing without their starting point guard, Stevie Clark. He's missed 6 of the last 7 games. So Braylon Neely, the freshman, starts. And Martez Walker hoists a 3. Off target, the rebound to Shane Hamming.
So Valpo with the 2-3 and say, okay, Oakland, we respect your inside game. To beat us, you're going to have to start off hitting some threes or get some good looks.
And Derek Smith's rejected by Isaiah Brock.
And that's what he does so well. He's never out of a play. He loves to play defense and help side.
Sharon Dorsey Walker off on the 3, pinballing around, and Valpo comes out with it to Peters. If you notice, Alec Peters not wearing his typical number. He is wearing 23 in honor of Jabril Adekoya, who is suspended. And so he is honoring him with that jersey number tonight. Braylon Neely, the freshman point guard, setting things up for the Golden Grizzlies. Dorsey Walker feeds inside to Brock, and it rolls around the rim and out.
He'd have given him a better target. Brock maybe had his hands extended, his arms up there, but
Shane Hammock knocks down the 3, and he cracks the scoreboard for the first time tonight.
He's been another huge key for Valpo this year. Scored 23 points in the win over Youngstown State. You know, it can't be Peters all the time, right? You've got to have a second and third option, and Hammock has stepped up big time.
Matt Loddick, the head coach of the Valparaiso Crusaders, in his 4th year with the program, but his first year as head coach. He took over when Bryce Drew left for Vanderbilt. Shane Hamming picks up his first foul. Now the Golden Grizzlies back to work with Jalen Hayes, and that's off target. Rebound comes to Hamming.
Well, you notice so far, Valpo forcing Oakland to shoot a long distance, a couple of threes, a long mid-range jump shot, and a travel underneath. That's going to be an interesting matchup to watch tonight. Smits against Brock, 2 young, extremely promising guys. I'm talking league promise, Jordan. They work on their game. Of course, Smits with his dad, Rick, having played for the Pacers for so long. And he's got that experience. And Brock, a decorated Army vet who's starting his 2nd career now with Oakland basketball. Jordan, go out there and get that ball real quick, will you?
I think we're going to leave that one to you, Brooke, because there's no way I'm getting it. But that emblematic of the start so far for Oakland, they have yet to put one in the basket. 0 for 4 from the field so far. Martez Walker nearly lost it. Drives on Hamming. High off glass.
See, the good news for Oakland is even with the point guard, you know, I say troubles with quotes around them because you still got adequate point guards. You just don't have veteran leadership. But what you do have are guys who can create their own shot, and that's what Martez Walker can give you. Hey, shot clock's running down 10 or less. You give the ball to number 35, and he'll make a shot.
And that's number 23 in white. In gold and white tonight, that's Alec Peters who misses. And now Martez Walker quickly to the basket. Walker, the last time these two teams met, Brooke, with 25 points to lead Oakland in scoring. And when he does lead them in scoring, they're 9-1 this season.
And what we learned so much today in shoot-around about metrics and the synergy system, and Martez Walker in transition is a sure thing. He's shooting about 77% when he can get the ball in transition. And if it's a contested look, it's even better. The tougher the shot, the more Martez Walker is able to concentrate. Finish right at the rim, too. He's got terrific athleticism and lift, and always has a smile on his face. He has fun playing the game.
That he does. Leading scorer for Oakland. And an open shot for Derek Smits. His first bucket of the night. Redshirt freshman out of Zionsville, Indiana. Early 1-point advantage for the Valparaiso Crusaders, 11-2 in the league this year. And a traveling violation against the freshman point guard Braylon Neely.
It's so rare for Neely to turn the ball over, but his mistake was trying to pick up that ball off the dribble. He had no idea what he wanted to do with it, but once he ran into traffic, Valpo players got their hands on it. Got to make better decisions with that. I think Oakland can get any shot they want, the mid-range. They're going to have to work for it.
And
another
a travel. Two in a row.
And both on Smits, who seems totally dumbfounded. And very uncharacteristic of Valpo to turn the ball over either. This is not a team that gives it up easily.
Yep, Derek Smits, an extra step.
And Shane Hammock is lucky he didn't get a whistle for a quick tee there with slamming the ball down.
Jalen Hayes working against Smits, and
again.
we've gotten that twice. What's going on with the rims, Brooke?
It's Friday night. It's not Friday the 13th, is it? We already had the 13th.
5-4 Valpo here at the arena.
Exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by McDonald's. I'm loving it. And AT&T.
5-4 Valparaiso leading Oakland here early on. Neither team shooting the ball very well. The last time these two teams met, Stevie Clark had 16 points, 5 assists. Jalen Hayes added 12 points, but Martez Walker led the way for Oakland. 25 points, shooting 8 of 14 with 4 3-pointers. And Oakland won that game 78-66. 11 of the last 12 games in this series had been decided by 6 points or less entering this game back on January 6th. And it was a game in which it was pretty close at halftime, Brooke. And then in the second half, Oakland got a few threes to start things off of turnovers, and it was over.
Yeah, and when they come out firing like that, it's hard to catch up. But you see the difference, too, in that game. Stevie Clark, who's not playing tonight, and Oakland hopes to have him back by the time the Horizon League tournament starts. You know, without a veteran leader at the point guard position, Oakland at times, they've fallen apart. But they found their confidence again. They're trying to ride that wave now into the postseason.
Oakland has won 4 straight games entering tonight. And Valparaiso's won 11 of 12. This is Micah Bradford for 3, tipped out of bounds off of Tavon Walker.
And Martez Walker, with a message for the official out of bounds, wanted to let him know that, hey, he felt like the last play was over the back, and I think he was reminded to not tell the official how to do his job. Thank you very much.
My opinion's the one that counts, right?
Right. I have the whistle and you don't.
Yeah. 12 to shoot now for the Golden Grizzlies.
Can't fault him for trying, though. I'd do the same thing.
Everybody lobbies.
Right.
It's just a matter of whether you can get them to change it. Off the turnover, this is Walker for 3 from the wing. Off target, the long rebound to Hemming.
Matt Loddick said a lot about controlling the glass tonight, right? That's where he said they faulted the first go-around. It was turnovers and it was the glass. And of course, having other players that have to hit shots. Smits got to get involved in the offense.
Smits has got it now. Driving into the paint, goes around. Hayes gets it to go. And a foul. Derek Smits with a nifty move underneath.
Shows a lot of strength for the young freshman, 7'2", 240 pounds. Nice ball fake. And, he's not the quickest guy in the world, but he's still 7'2", and he's got moves, and he's got great length. Covers a lot with each step. And look, as he picks up the ball, he gets hammered. Hayes holding on to his arm, and he's still strong enough to get off the shot.
Derek Smits, guy that Matt Lotta calls his finesse big, and he says that Jaume Sorolla is his physical big.
Right. Got to have the physicality and the finesse. It's like the yin and the yang. They go together.
This time, Smits clanks the free throw. And now Neely across for Oakland. And a foul coming up. That'll go on to Von Walker. We've got a good one for you in the American Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. It's UConn taking on Temple in Philly. As always, it can be seen streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN.
Boy, how about UConn? Started off 5-9. Now they're 8 of their last 11. Finally over 500. And they got Jalen Adams back in the lineup. He was sick all last week. Huge win over Memphis, so don't discount the Huskies. You never can.
Never can this
time. The ladies are holding it down.
Oh. And Brock cannot hang on for the alley-oop.
That was almost real nasty.
60% of his made field goals are dunks, and we have seen Isaiah Brock get up and throw it down.
He's a rim breaker. He's not just a dunker, Jordan. He could flat out just tear the glass apart.
Watch out below, right?
Mm-hmm.
This time, Neely tried to feed it underneath for Hayes, but threw it off the rim.
And Greg Campy with a facepalm emoji over here on the bench. Just disappointed in sometimes the way his team's able to execute. He wants them to play free, wants them to play, make your own shot, have those moves ready.
Bradford lost the handle, and Hayes feeds it up to Neely. One-on-one against Joseph.
Shimmy, shimmy, shake. Braylon Neely looking over to the bench, say, Coach, does that make up for the last turnover? Is that okay? We're square now, right?
I think Greg Campy would have to think about that one. Peters to Joseph for 3. That's off target, and the rebound comes out to Dorsey Walker. Sharon right to the basket, misses the shot. And here comes Bradford for Valpo. Peters for 3. Buries it. Alec Peters on the board for the first time. He averages 23 points a game.
Yeah, and real fired up right now, making sure his team understands, hey, we are never out of this game. We got to fight each possession. This is a battle of the top dogs in the Horizon League, so this is a preview of what we could be looking at in the championship.
Dorsey Walker misses on the 3, out of bounds. And some substitutions coming in for Valparaiso.
Well, Braylon Neely, so talented, the quick hands and able to put the ball on the floor tight. Keep those handles together, and the nifty move. He had about 5 moves in a matter of a second and a half. Not easy to complete.
Braylon Neely, the freshman right out of Detroit. He's a star at Detroit Western. So people in this area have seen him do that before. Time of feed inside Brock. They almost lost it, but Neely keeps. And this is Nick Daniels for 3. Daniels into the game and brings it back to a 1-point deficit for Oakland. John Kaiser. Joseph trying to get it inside to Peters, but they're going to call a foul. That'll come against Martez Walker. And it takes us to a timeout on the floor. And Alec Peters just starting to heat things up, knocking down the tray, and Valpo up 1.
That's what I like about you.
A 1-point lead on Oakland, 11:37 to go here first half. Longest tenured coaches in the country, Jim Boeheim at Syracuse, 41 seasons in Central New York. Mike Krzyzewski and then Greg Campy. So the head coach here at Oakland in elite company as he coaches his 1,000th game tonight. And can't be one of the longest tenured coaches in the country, but Brooke, one of the shortest tenured coaches is Matt Loddick on the other sideline. Yes, he's been with the Valpo program for a few years. This is his 4th year with the school, but first year as the head coach and hasn't missed a beat, 21-5 in his first year.
That's right, off to a good start. And, seems like the kind of guy who you could see staying for 577 wins at Valpo, right? Since we both didn't know where the song 16 Tons came from, it's a song about a coal miner, actually, based out of Kentucky.
Oh, very nice.
It's a country song, so add that to your playlist, all right? I want you to listen to it. Give me a report next time.
It's going onto the iPod.
All right.
And now Max Joseph driving the paint, and a crazy pass out to John Kaiser. That was either incredible vision or incredible luck.
Little luck, yeah. I'm going on the luck side for sure.
Peters misses the 3, and the rebound comes out to Neely. Of course, he's going to say later he meant to do that.
Of course. And Valpo's transition defense, by the way, has done a good job adjusting to Oakland. They haven't been able to get those run-out buckets like they did to start this game. Now they're having to work deeper into the half court. And you see the running traps. Valpo trying to show a few different looks, keep Oakland on their feet.
5 to shoot. Daniels a long 3. Nick Daniels has buried a couple triples here early.
Huge confidence coming off the bench. And Nick Daniels still had some time to get a better shot, but he thought, hey, I got the confidence, I'm going to pull the trigger.
And now Joseph pulls the trigger from 3. That's off target, the rebound, Hayes.
Great box out by Martez Walker.
And a foul coming up against Lexus Williams. Williams, his first personal foul. Nick Daniels, this is from way out, Brooke.
Yeah, this is from just about downtown Detroit. I mean, he's pulling up with just no hesitation. He's done this twice now. Immediately coming into the game, he shot a deep 3, not quite as deep as that one, but the shot clock was running down. I love that. I love players that come in and say, give me the ball, I want it. There's no time to get warmed up when you come into games. You better be ready to play or you're not going to earn your minutes.
Hayes threw that one away, and now Valpo back on offense. Williams feeding inside Peters, who meets a double team. Out to Hammonk. Got Hayes' feet moving and then misses the 3. The rebound, Brad Brechting.
I will tell you, Jordan, in shoot around this morning and before practice, about an hour before this game, Valpo players were not missing threes. I'm seeing 8, 9, 10 in a row. And Oakland's defense, which isn't surprising after learning about them and the metrics, that they're the best team in the country when it comes to guarding against the pick and roll. That's what Valpo likes to run offensively. So that's why they're having trouble scoring. They're not getting any open looks off the pick and roll. Oakland's able to adjust. And because of that, they're taking long shots that are leading to long rebounds, and Oakland can get their transition game.
Foul on Soroya, and now Jalen Hayes at the free throw line. And interestingly, in this game tonight, Brooke, I feel like both these teams know that they may meet again in a couple of weeks at Motor City Madness for the Horizon League Championship. So it's almost like a chess match where you don't want to give away too much.
Well, think of this as the first game in a best of 2 series, really. So from this point on, they'll only meet again possibly one more time. So it's not like you want to give away all your secrets, but you do want to do enough to win. So if that means giving everything away and coming up with something new for next time, so be it. But you're not going to hold anything back when it comes to trying to get that win. Neither one of these coaches are keeping anything else in their pocket.
Oakland on an 8-0 run right now, and Valparaiso coming across with Lexus Williams. Began the year in the starting lineup, now coming off the bench for Matt Loddick's club. As Micah Bradford starts so that he can get Lexus Williams a little more rest. Jaume Soroya with a nifty move. The hook shot goes.
And that may be one of the few shots that is unblockable against Oakland's defense, that half hook.
And now it's Sharon Dorsey-Walker. Xavier Hill-Mays just checked in, 14 in white for Oakland. Daniels the drive and kick, and Dorsey-Walker the long 3, the rebound Soroya. Joseph right inside. It's blocked by Brock and out of bounds.
We talked about that Oakland defense, and Greg Campy and his staff are big believers in the synergy system. And having seen those numbers and then seeing what these numbers are here with their first in the Horizon League when it comes to guarding the three, they get the most steals. The teams have difficulty scoring on them. Well, a lot of that has to do with the fact that they know how to guard different offenses, and the best one of those being the ball screen offense.
Shane Hammock right to the rack in a strong move. He's got 5 points tonight. And now Daniels quickly on the other end misses from deep for the first time.
Yeah, well, he checked for Daniels, but the shot looked on point. It was very close, so he's not exactly gone cold yet. I'd still feed him, especially on the fast break. I'd find him.
This is John Kaiser feeding Soroya in the post and goes right over Brock. Jaume Soroya with 4 early points, giving Valpo some good minutes off the bench.
Good adjustment by Matt Lodich to put him in the game to see, okay, what length do I need to get to try to open up the paint? We've got to score inside. Lucky for them, Soroya has had some success against Brock, so they see it. And now that will open things up for the guards outside. Now they can shoot some uncontested threes because Oakland can't just double team all the time. You got to pay attention to Peters, and you got to pay attention now to Soroya.
After Oakland went on an 8-0 run, Valpo has countered with a 6-0 run and have a 2-point lead. Just over 8 minutes to go here in this first half. Martez Walker to Hill Mays from the elbow, off target, and a foul as Brock went over the back. Brings us to a timeout. Isaiah Brock picking up the foul, but his Oakland Golden Grizzlies hanging tough with Valpo. Saturday on ESPN, the SEC and ACC cap our full day of college hoops. At 6 Eastern, 13th ranked Kentucky is in Athens to take on Georgia. Then we'll take you to the Dean Smith Center in Chapel Hill, the site of this week's College Game Day, for our Saturday primetime game presented by AT&T. It's number 14 Virginia and number 10 North Carolina. Both games are also streaming live on the ESPN app and Watch ESPN. Jack Emanuel, his first season as Valpo's assistant coach, of course a national champion with North Carolina back in 2005. And Max Joseph quickly going to work. His first bucket tonight. And now a 4-point lead for Valparaiso.
So now that the game is settled in, we're seeing each team try to get more into their half court, into their quarter court offense. In Oakland, yet to see a traditional bucket for them tonight. You see Jalen Hayes on the block. He's their best scoring option down low. You see why right there. And
Jalen Hayes now with 4 points tonight. Just starting to get going. Second leading scorer for the Golden Grizzlies, just under 16 a game.
Terrific block by Isaiah Brock. He's so good at staying out of the way and still being impactful. He moves so quickly on the floor.
And Martez Walker knocks down the three. Martez Walker, when he's got a guy running at him, that's when he wants to throw that three in the air.
There's something about it, Jordan. A wide open shot sometimes is just too open. And when you've got a player running at you, it forces you to concentrate harder on the rim. And that level of pressure, right? It's up a few more degrees. So as a basketball player and as a competitor, you kind of want that. Plus when you can hit it, somebody's running in your face like that, you know how much better it feels on the way down? Give them a little look, a little wink, let them know.
The mean mug, as you would say?
No, a little smile,
oh,
you know,
smile?
like you're having fun.
Okay, I like that. Derek Smits airballs the jumper, and here comes Walker.
The mean mug is for a block. That's where the mean mug comes in.
Isaiah Brock's got 2 so far tonight, and Martez Walker's got 5 straight points.
You can give it on that play, too, because that's just nasty. That's what Martez Walker is able to do. So creative. Once he gets off the floor, you can throw any defense at him, and he'll still figure out a way to control that ball and figure out a way to get the ball to the rim. I don't know how he does it.
Joseph to Peters on the post. Against Dorsey, Walker goes around him and puts it in. Alec Peters, a strong move.
So patient. Kind of worked the Oakland defense and put him to sleep. At one point, Nick Daniels was guarding him. Jalen Hayes was guarding him. Martez Walker was giving him a look. And he tricked all three of them into going baseline and getting a free open shot. Okay.
Nice feed. Jalen Hayes to Isaiah Brock.
And those two work very well together in the post. You know, defensively, they allow each other the room. They need to block shots. And offensively, you know, you don't crowd each other when you're trying to make a move.
Shane Hammock off on the three. The rebound by Brock and a foul on Smits. Well, the two leading scorers.
One's
showing
Martez
why,
Walker,
right?
exactly. You know, so good. The hesitation and the crossover dribble in traffic, and like I said, can still create. He finishes left. And watch the patience of Alec Peters. You see, drawing 3, even 4 defenders for Oakland into them thinking he's going to go over left shoulder and go middle when he knows he's got the right lane open.
And now Sharon Dorsey Walker brings it across. Oakland a 3-point lead. In a game that has seesawed back and forth here in the first 15 minutes. Top 2 teams in the Horizon League standings. Oakland 2 games back. Brock goes for the throwdown but can't hang on to it, but gets his own rebound. And now Walker for 3. And the rebound to Hammond. Boy, that would have set this place into a frenzy.
Yeah, you just hear the entire crowd react when Brock goes up for a play like that. And you can feel the power coming off of his hands when he goes to dunk that ball.
Isaiah Brock picking up his second personal foul, and he'll now go to the bench. And Brad Brechting will check back in. It's Isaiah Brock, the freshman, 22 years old, decorated Army veteran, was cleared by the NCAA, joined this team, and he has been a really interesting player to watch because at 22, he's got the smarts of a senior, but as a freshman basketball player, there's still moments where he's learning how to play at this level.
Yeah, it's great to see him get a second opportunity, how much he loves the game, and his leadership has been so evident throughout this season. You know, it rubs off on guys like Jalen Hayes, who's a terrific leader in his own right, you know, probably the voice of the team. The attitude of this team and the way they play together speaks volumes about the program.
Oakland with a 5-point lead on Valpo, 4:02 to go first half.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Firestone Complete Auto Care. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone.
Thank you, Chris. And Division I coaches that have had a lot of success in their first year. How about Matt Loddick? I mean, second best record of any coach so far. Paul Weir at New Mexico State's obviously having a fantastic start, but it's interesting to see because usually these first-year guys, they've got to build their program, they got to get some guys in there, but this year we've got a few breaking the trend.
Well, you know, and I think having been at Valpo for so long and just understanding the culture and what it takes to win there, you know, you've got a coach who's familiar and so familiar with the program that, you know, he's got a lot of the same players, but what Bryce Drew did, you know, to prepare him and to get him ready for this point, you know, I think that's where it comes through, is you see Bryce Drew now in a position where his coaching tree, you know, here are the branches starting to come off, starting with Matt Loddick.
Having a heck of a first year with his program, and now a turnover by the Crusaders. Oakland a 5-point lead. They're on an 11-2 scoring run.
I wouldn't have expected this game to be at 25-20 with just 3.5 minutes to play in the first half, but it still has the potential to break open offensively. Well, yeah, you know, those things happen when you cue it up at the right time. You know, Jalen Hayes, we're so used to him seeing him around the block, you know, but every now and then he keeps you honest with the range.
Jalen Hayes has just passed Ty McGregor. He is 29th on Oakland's all-time scoring list. Martez Walker the steal. Ahead of the pack, corrals the ball, scores, and a foul. Martez Walker having a great first half. He's got 11 points.
The junior from Detroit. What body control. Look at the concentration. I mean, does that say I want it more than you or what? You talk about 50-50 balls, finishing the play. That's just guts right there, Mr. Martez Walker.
And the smile.
Yeah, that's what, yeah, right. Now you see what I'm saying,
yes.
right? You speak with your game. You don't have to talk trash. You make a play and you give them a little smile. That's all you need.
Can't complete the three-point play, and now Valpo coming across down by 10. Hammonk trying to get to the basket, lost the handle.
Never short on reaction. Greg Campy. You know, he expects perfection.
He wanted that one from Martez Walker, 81% free throw shooter. He doesn't miss a lot of them, but did there.
Well, that's completing the play. You know, that's winning the game. That's earning the championship. It's going through all the motions, which is what it takes. It's everything you got and then some.
Now off the miss. This is Kaiser, guarded by Martez Walker. Peters for three. That one rims out. It's saved by Valpo, and they keep it. Hammonk almost shot that three, but wouldn't take it, and then he lost the handle.
Yeah, the recovery from Oakland, their defense, they are so on point tonight.
Brad Brechting is fouled underneath. Soroya will pick up the foul. That is his second. Well, tonight in the 11 o'clock Sports Center with Kevin Connors and Nicole Briscoe, they'll have all the highlights from college basketball, the NHL, spring training, and NFL news. Live reports from NBA All-Star Weekend in New Orleans and everything else. Sports Center at night on ESPN. Also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. Brad Brechting, 74% at the line, knocks down the first. Valpo has not scored in the last 3 minutes and 35 seconds. And for a Valpo team that came into today, having won 10 of 11, 11-2 in this league, this is not a position that Matt Loddick's team is in often.
He had talked about the environment here tonight, knowing how hyped this crowd gets. He said, I want to make sure that we don't play too tight. I want to make sure we play loose and let their talent shine. And they played aggressive. I'll give them that. But it's been play after play like that. The Oakland defense getting a hand on the ball, whether it's the guards swiping as the players are driving or it's the post players just standing tall and really getting great length and blocking those shots.
Valparaiso atop the Horizon League standings at 11-2. Their only losses came to the second and third seeds in this league. They lost to Oakland the last time these two teams played, and they lost to Green Bay. And at the time they lost to Green Bay, the Phoenix were playing great. Since then, they've lost a few games, but this Valpo team, other than that, has been extremely dominant in this league.
Yeah, they've been consistent. They don't beat themselves. They don't turn the ball over. They play solid defense, and you've got Player of the Year candidate Alec Peters, who gets you out of any jam. You need a bucket, and that's your guy.
Peters with 7 first-half points. Walker to a posting Brechting against Smits. Brad Brechting, some good minutes off the bench for Greg Campy in his 1,000th game.
That's a big shot for Brad Brechting. Greg Campy had a lot of positive things to say about his 6'11" sophomore center. Love the way he's playing, and you can see why. His hustle is never ending.
You see why this Valpo team is so dangerous when you've got big men that can pass like that to Max Joseph.
Yeah, they're smart. This is an unselfish team. And with getting the right shot, not turning the ball over, that's why they win a lot of games.
Brechting in on Hammonk, and he blocked it out of bounds.
Brechting working hard for this shot. And they're going to trust him now more with the ball. When you can make plays like this, the fadeaway fadeaway jump shot, over a solid defender in Smits, that gives you the confidence late in the game. If Brock fouls out, if Hayes fouls out, and if Brechting's in, he can make the play for you.
Brad Brechting started a lot last year for Greg Campy's club. He always takes a look at the analytics and has reasons for why he does what he does, and he felt that Brechting was a better starter of the game, and he wanted to limit Percy Gibson's minutes. So always thinking is Greg Campy with everybody on the floor. And he's always intense, too.
Oh, he's one of the most intense, but he's thought through every situation there is, and he coaches with passion. And he's going to coach you hard because he wants to make you a better player.
Alec Peters for a long three. Peters now with 10. And if he gets hot, that's going to be dangerous, and promptly Greg Campy calls a timeout. We'll take it with them. Oakland up 7, and Peters is warming up. Martez Walker has been leading the Golden Grizzlies tonight, Brooke. He's got 11 points, 5 of 7 from the field.
Yeah, he's played so tough and has done nothing but kept his eyes on the rim. When he's got the ball in his hand, he's a scorer. He's ready to shoot. He's done so tonight for the Grizzlies.
Martez Walker, leading scorer for Oakland, and has been true to form tonight. A great first half, and Oakland's got to like where they're at. They've got the last chance to score here in this opening 20 minutes. Jalen Hayes with 3, with 2. The shot no good. Coming in to try to put that back was Walker, but could not. And it sends us to halftime. In Oakland, when they lead at the half, they are almost automatic 31-3 in Horizon League play when leading or tied at the half. And the Golden Grizzlies, a 7-point lead as we take you to halftime. And the Golden Grizzlies doing it on both ends of the floor, but Shane Hammock and Valpo keeping it close. Let's go to the studio. Chris Hassel and Andy Katz. Oakland leading Valparaiso here at halftime as we welcome you back to the blacktop at the O-Arena, where they're having a whiteout inside the arena tonight. Alongside Brooke Weisbrod, I'm Jordan Burnfield. Glad to be with you tonight. It's been a really good one so far, Brooke. We expected as much from the top two teams in the Horizon League. And so far, Martez Walker, true to form. He is their leading scorer, and he's leading Oakland in scoring tonight. He's
done an amazing job of bringing the energy into the arena tonight. He got big on the fast break and in transition. He loves that rhythm. Jordan, this is his sweet spot. Off the dribble, creating, throw him in traffic, whatever you need to do. The harder the situation, the better the shot. Brad Brechting followed up with some nice work of his own on the inside. And for Valparaiso, Alec Peters, 10 points on 3 of 8 shooting, and he's got to be big here in the second half as well. You know, Valpo just had trouble getting off quality shots. They shot just 27% from 3, 39% overall. And Oakland with those 11 points off 7 Valpo turnovers.
And our second half now underway as Oakland starts with the basketball and a 7-point lead. We mentioned going into halftime that this team almost automatic when they have a halftime lead. 31-3 all time in the Horizon League when they lead after 20 minutes. This is Sharon Dorsey Walker in the corner for 3, no good. And now a foul coming up. And we'll go against Derek Smits, his second. And so the big man coming right out for Matt Loddick, and Jay Soroya will go back in for the Crusaders.
Soroya had a nice first half. Actually, he was 2 for 2, both over Isaiah Brock. He was trying to reach out and block those shots, but Soroya had lift.
Now Oakland trying to set up the offense. Jalen Hayes over Soroya in the miss. The rebound to Von Walker. A near steal. Valpo keeps. And Hemming hoists a 3 and knocks it down. Good start to the second half for Valpo.
I saw some plays Shane Hammock made, and he didn't get what he wanted, and he was getting frustrated with himself. He was trying to take it to the rim and would get stripped. You just see the frustration building in his game. So for him to start off the second half this way is a good sign for Valpo.
Hammock led Valpo in scoring each of the last 2 games. And tonight with 8 points, Peters leading Valpo with 10. Now a foul away from the ball. That'll go against Isaiah Brock, and he's got 3, Brooke.
He's got to be careful because Brock, the way he plays, he typically doesn't foul, but if that's, Valpo's defense, their offense, if they're going more into a one-on-one and really trying to look for contact, that will get him into foul trouble. But through the flow of the motion of offense, he's a great defender.
Peters makes the move around 2 defenders. And now a 10-0 Valpo run beginning at the end of the first half. Dorsey Walker in the corner. Off target on the 3. Rebound Soroya.
Yeah, tonight has not been Dorsey Walker's night. And that's a tough shot to hit from the corner. He had a near turnover to start the second half. 2 deep threes. Meanwhile, Valpo, you feel them, the machine flowing a little faster now, right? The well-oiled machine coming out of halftime, and the passing has been on point.
And Peters feeding Soroya on that play. One of the reasons why Alec is so dangerous. Jalen Hayes now posting on Peters. Can't get it to go, and a foul coming up.
Alec Peters, we had talked about how many ways he can score, and he's been very crafty on the block tonight against tough defenders from Oakland, that time over Brock, with those 3 fouls. And when they get the double team to him, he's able to find open looks. He doesn't have to worry about, do I panic? What do I do with the ball? And Peters works on his game constantly, and that's the mental part. And a lot of players learn late.
Jalen Hayes gets the hometown roll. 11 points tonight for Hayes. And now Valparaiso trailing only by 2 with a chance to tie. Soroya off target, rebound Dorsey Walker. Feeds underneath to Hayes, and a foul. That'll go against Shane Hamming. Second personal against Hamming. Some good games tomorrow right here on ESPN. Number 25 Notre Dame against NC State, and then 15th ranked Florida against Mississippi State.
In Oakland, one of the more unique teams in the country when it comes to free throw shooting. Greg Campy sends everybody but the shooter back.
Wants to get him on defense. We talked about it earlier, Brooke, how this is really kind of a different defensive team than Oakland's had. Everyone says, Oakland basketball, efficient offense, high-powered, but this is really an excellent defensive team.
Yeah, they really are. It's just offensively they haven't gotten a solid point guard play all season, and that is quite the take.
And that's Micah Bradford, his first basket of the night, and with authority.
He's another scoring element to this team. And he's taken over at the point guard spot very well. The pressure to do so. I like the flex at the end. See, that's not a mean mug or a smile. That just says, give me this. My game is strong. Just like Jaleel Hogan. Remember our buddy at Detroit came in here and said, I'm the man. Give me the ball. They can't hold me.
And Martez Walker misses the 3. Rebound Hayes, and a fresh shot clock for the Golden Grizzlies. Now Walker again from deep. Oakland needed that one to go. And the Golden Grizzlies back up 5. Peters against Hayes. Into the paint and puts it high up over Brock. Alec Peters has shown you every single way he can score tonight.
Well, you got the best offensive player in the league going up against probably the 2 best defensive players, especially in the post. And Peters stayed patient once again, just inched his way to the opening, and he found what he needed. Used the rim as protection and got off the shot.
And now a foul coming up underneath.
Peters going up against
Bradford.
Brock and Hayes. Watch, he's going to back him into the paint a little more until he gets exactly what he needs. And then the step through. A little spin for that finish. He's so crafty, so willing
Alec Peters is on virtually every watch list. If there's a watch list somewhere, Alec Peters is on it. Naismith, Wooden Award, Malone, Henson, Olsen, and Dorsey Walker knocks that down for the baseline. Long two, his first basket tonight. Peters trips on the play, and now they call a kick as Neely was trying to run that across. Oakland up 43-38.
Of college basketball is brought to you by Lexus. Experience amazing.
We've got a good one for you in the American Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. It's UConn taking on Temple in Philly. As always, it can be seen streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. With Brooke Weisbrod, Jordan Burnfield back with you here at the Arena in Rochester, Michigan, where we've got the top two teams in the Horizon League battling tonight. Greg Campy coaching his 1,000th game in his illustrious career, his 33rd year. All these games being coached for the Oakland Golden Grizzlies. Martez Walker drives the paint, gets it to go, and he's going to the line.
Soroya had the most perfect opportunity to set up for a charge. Instead, he moves out of the way and gives Martez Walker the entire lane to work with. He just says, no, I don't want any part of that. I don't want any part of that.
Tavon Walker picking up his fourth foul. And so he comes out of the game. John Kaiser goes in. And Brooke, that's significant because Tavon Walker is third on this team in scoring. You don't want to lose somebody that valuable to Valparaiso. Now the officials convening for a moment. They want to take a look at something on the monitor here.
Make sure they have.
You want to make sure the correct foul? Yeah.
Call a foul.
Well, Valpo hoping it's not on Walker.
And Soroya is right there, number 14. Are they going to call it on Tavon Walker? Just either slap or a little body from behind, or Soroya with the swipe?
It's going to be Soroya instead. So that's a big break there, and they appeared to get it right. The way that Soroya reacted on the shot, he thought it was on him.
He did. You saw him raise his hand quickly to try and claim the foul.
And so now Jay Soroya with 3 personals and Walker with 3 as well. And that'll leave Tavon on the floor for Valparaiso. Martez Walker completes the 3-point play. And either way, it gives Oakland an 8-point lead. Drive and kick. Joseph thought about the shot. Now drives and a big block by Jalen Hayes. Normally it's Isaiah Brock, but this time it was Jalen Hayes.
Well, looks like Isaiah Brock is rubbing off well on Jalen Hayes. Good timing on this block. Look, it gets out of the way. The body control there. He says, oh, no, you don't.
Joseph can't hit it from deep, and the rebound to Daniels. Hayes posting and can't finish. The rebound, Soroya. Tough shot there for Jalen Hayes.
A little quick, maybe excited about that block and just wanted to feel rewarded. And I don't blame him. He's made that shot before tonight. He just rushed that last possession.
Nice pass, Dorsey Walker underneath to Brechting. And a timeout taken by Valparaiso as Oakland has stretched its lead back to 10.
The way Brad Brechting finishes a play, he makes me want to pass to him and get the assist. So much love after working so hard to get this bucket.
Oakland with a 10-point lead on Valparaiso, much to the delight of Greg Campy, and the Golden Grizzlies on a 7-0 run, 14-4 overall. And Brooke, early in the second half, Valpo started to gain momentum, but Oakland has taken it right back.
And they've done it because Martez Walker continues to hit big shot after big shot, and Brad Brechting has added another life into this offense. He gives him a good scoring punch off the bench. You know, Isaiah Brock with those 3 fouls, Jalen Hayes who could score, and now Brechting is a reliable option. Man, that was a tough fall, and Martez Walker and Tavon Walker, some unfinished business.
Two Walkers, differing viewpoints, and take a look at what the discrepancy is here. Dorsey Walker seemed to trip him.
Yeah, it was Dorsey Walker, and then Martez Walker didn't step away fast enough. So we're going to take another look at this. But Dorsey Walker had the trip, and then after the play is when Martez Walker, well, that's the reason. The reason the play continued is because Tavon Walker tried to pull a little Grayson Allen on Martez Walker, and cameras don't lie. So I don't know how they're going to rule that one.
Well, the officials tonight, Ted Valentine, Terry Weimer, Brian Dorsey, huddled together looking at it. As you can imagine, the crowd not pleased.
And what I think is really important right now is the message Greg Campy is having and the conversation he's having with Martez Walker to tell him, hey, shut it down. We see the replay. We see what happened. But be an upperclassman. Walk away from the situation. You're lucky there's no sprained ankles on that play either. That could have been really bad.
Yeah.
Let's take one more look at it. So the foul should be on Dorsey Walker. But will they issue a technical? What will they come back with for Tavon Walker for the extra activity after the play?
According to our monitor, Dorsey Walker has been given his third personal foul. But what else they're tacking onto it, the officials still trying to sort it out. Well, you get two rivals who are battling for standing in this Horizon League, and there can be some chippiness. We talked about it with the coaches before this game. They didn't shy away from saying that, yeah, there is a rivalry that's building. Oakland's only been in the Horizon League for a few years, but these are two of the programs at the top. So they are certainly both gunning to try to win this conference and end up in the NCAA tournament, typically the Horizon a one-bid league. And so they know that there's going to be a lot of intensity, but certainly you saw what happened there. You wonder how the officials are going to rule this play. So the crowd is cheering because another foul has been added on. Brooke, what'd you get?
Tavon Walker is ejected. Ted Valentine just came over to the table and said, number 2, Tavon Walker, he's ejected for extracurricular activity after the play.
So Matt Loddick getting the explanation from Ted Valentine, and that is a huge loss. And take a look here at the difference between a flagrant 1 and a flagrant 2 foul. And Ted Valentine, when he came over to you, said it was a flagrant act or flagrant 2, which is the automatic ejection.
Yep.
And there you go.
Yeah, there's no messing around with that play. And, it didn't seem severe or excessive to me, but it was enough to the officials that they wanted to cut that play off right then and there. And they've seen enough.
We talked about it.
It's kind of, I just have to say, it's surprising to see Tavon Walker get ejected out of this game. And just to go back, I know we've talked a lot about it this year. Everybody's talked about Grayson Allen and the incident, but, you tell me how many times we've seen Grayson Allen do that and not get ejected. And this was, the 10% version of it. And you got to wonder what Matt Loddick is thinking.
Well, you might think that maybe because of all that, it's a little more heightened now for the officials, and they're more cognizant or worried about something starting up. And Matt Loddick is still very upset. With Tavon Walker out of the game, we mentioned earlier, this is their third leading scorer. You don't want to lose a player of this value in a game of this importance, and there's still 14 minutes left. It changes a lot of what Valpo wants to do with its rotation.
Yeah, this is a big play, and could be something Valpo could use, right, to spark. They'll come out and play a lot more aggressive kind of play in honor now of Tavon Walker.
But Walker hit the 2 free throws, Martez did, and now if Oakland scores again, we're talking about a 4, maybe 5-point swing. In the corner, Nick Daniels. There's the 3. It turns into the 5-point swing.
He and Jalen Hayes looked at each other going down the floor, and Jalen put his palms down, and Nick put his palms up. Jalen said, all right, we got a lot of time left, young man. We're not closing this game out just yet.
Valpo on a stretch where Oakland has scored 12 straight, and that is ended promptly by Alec Peters.
The toughness, they're not going away. These Valpo players, they've got a lot of grit, and Alec Peters can figure out a way to score in the paint no matter what defenders you put on him. And that's exactly what Matt Loddick told us today. He said, we expect him to take contested shots. We expect him to get pushed off the boards, to have a difficult night, but he's a willing passer and he's a great finisher. However anyone defends him, we are a team, and we'll play as one.
Alec Peters just missed a free throw. He is a 90% free throw shooter. So the rare miss. Brechting in on Soroya. Brad Brechting has got 8 points tonight. He has had a heck of a game for the Golden Grizzlies.
So many times this season, he's been put in the game, said, hey, just go get me a rebound, just get me a stop. But now you can say, Brad, go in there and give me some points. I need you to score.
Peters posting on Hayes. The fadeaway jumper. True.
He was working on that shot a lot in shoot-around. He knew that was going to be a shot he'd get. Jalen Hayes, the strong defender with the wide base, wasn't going to let him get by. He said, I don't need it. I got that shoot-around. With the fadeaway, he perfected it at shoot-around.
Now Peters driving in and Brechting the big block.
Give it back to him. Give it back to him.
That's the all-time leader in scoring at Valpo. And Daniels drains the 3. It's all Oakland at the arena.
Oh boy, it's an arena time. These Oakland players found the secret sauce, didn't they? It's defense mixed up with a little bit of transition and fast break. Now you don't have to reward the big man. You can find Nick Young. Terrific 3, and he's having a big-time night for Nick Daniels.
Thank you, Chris. Valparaiso with the basketball down 16, and Shane Hammock the miss, and it pinballs around to Jalen Hayes. Valpo's a team that has been mostly dominant in the horizon this year, but they trail by 16 for the second time this year. The last time they did was against Green Bay just a few games ago, which was a very uncharacteristic game for this Crusader club. But this is the team that's won the regular season 5 of the last 6 years in this league. They don't trail by 16 points, but here they are at Oakland with the Golden Grizzlies on a 24-8 run.
It's unfamiliar territory. And Valpo, as we mentioned, they're a team that does not beat themselves, and tonight it's been Oakland. They've played bigger defensively. They've been huge on the boards. They've created steals and gotten points off turnovers, in addition to scoring from the inside.
Valpo at 11-2. Oakland came in 2 games back, but they won the last matchup between these two. So a win tonight for Oakland. They're 1 game back and have the tiebreaker. Now, granted, they're going to have to keep winning and they're going to need Valpo to lose. But if the 2 teams finish with the same record, they would win the regular season title.
Well, the good news for Oakland is that Valpo is going to have to win out the rest of the games on the road, which is never easy to do, especially in the Horizon League. Nice take from Lexus Williams.
First basket of the night for the redshirt junior out of Chicago. Sharon Dorsey Walker ran out of real estate, trapped, and knocked out of bounds by Williams.
Neely coming in for Sharon Dorsey Walker. You know, he's been great with managing the offense tonight. Neely has, I think, and with Nick Daniels being in the game, he's their primary outside shooter. And of course, you got Martez Walker, who can do a little bit of everything. You know, but Greg Campy jumping off the bench, making sure his guys don't relax, right? This is a big lead, and this arena can get hype in 2 seconds. But they can also beat themselves, and we've seen them do that throughout the course of this season. Detroit, they deflated. Green Bay had their number from the start.
Alexis Williams, another drive to the basket, and he's been a welcomed addition off the bench. 4 points now. And he fouls Daniels. Oakland comes in having won 4 straight. And when we saw Oakland play against Detroit Mercy just a few weeks ago, Greg Campy said when they lost that game on this floor, it took the wind out of his team's sails a little bit. And he feels like now they've got their mojo back. Well, and it looks like it so far tonight.
There's no doubt that night, Jaleel Hogan and Chris Jenkins, the Detroit team just left with all the confidence that Oakland thought they had at the start of that game. And they had no idea who they were after that night. So it took them 4 or 5 games to try and figure themselves out. You know, who is this team? Who do they want to be? And maybe they don't have a senior leader and a point guard, but they've got terrific players, and they're all making it work.
Jay Soroyo the throwdown. Valpo trailing by 12. Daniels off target on the 3. Soroyo the rebound. Peters underneath against Hayes and Brock. Can't finish. And Daniels races ahead for Oakland. No look to Walker. He can't finish underneath. And Peters with the strong take. Valpo back within 10.
It's been so much fun to watch Peters and Martez Walker find a way to create their shot in traffic off the dribble with defenders all over them, swiping everywhere they can to try to get a piece of the ball. It really shows great concentration and their ability to finish.
8-2 run right now by Valparaiso, and this is why Alec Peters is so good, because of all the things that he can do with the basketball in the open court, and he's 6'9".
I saw a spin move, I saw a crossover, and I saw a hesitation, all in the same play. There's your spin move, crossover coming up, followed by the hesitation, cuts through the defense. I mean, a lot of skilled basketball trainers around the country would love to use that for a teaching point and how to get a big man to dribble a ball.
Alec Peters, the all-time leading scorer, passing Bryce Drew for number 1 at Valpo this season. And then your leading rebounder, second in three-point field goal makes. It was interesting talking to Matt Loddick before the game, Brooke, when he said, with all due respect to Bryce Drew, who he coached under for the last 3 years, he said, I think Alec may be the best player in Valpo history, and his story still has a chapter to be written.
Yeah, no doubt. And to have a player like him on your team and to have the coaching staff that he's had now with Loddick leading the way and guiding his career. He's been in great hands. And I thought the ultimate compliment that Loddick had about him was his work ethic.
Max Joseph has that one blocked by Martez Walker. Out of bounds, it's going to go to Oakland.
The Oakland defense, they're so quick with the hands. Martez Walker gets a piece of this ball, just the hang time. And was able to just wait for the offensive player to make his move. He's still up in the air, hanging out.
Hayes posting against Peters. Javen Cumberland into the game. Now 8 to shoot. And they're going to call Sharon Dorsey Walker for palming that one.
Greg Campy letting him know that that's the second time tonight it's happened. Sharon Dorsey Walker he's had a tough game tonight with shot selection, not hitting some, taking them maybe a little bit too quickly for coach's taste.
Soroya up over Brechting. And Jay Soroya now with 10 points, and it's back to 8. It was 16, and slowly here comes Valpo.
Yeah, between Soroya and Peters, Valpo has 2 consistent scoring options. If they want to keep going back down there, I would. I mean, they've both proven to be good shot scorers. Shot takers.
Got the big block, and now Cumberland in the corner knocks it down. Well, Javen Cumberland hasn't played a lot in recent games, and that's a huge 3.
It gives Oakland a little more breathing room, right? You can feel Valpo creeping back in.
Shane Hammock.
They make it look easy sometimes. It's not, but they really do. Those big bodies. Just found one hole in the Oakland defense. Doesn't happen too often. And tonight they've had the paint just completely protected, except for an instance or 2, and Valpo's exploited them when they have.
Brechting posting up on Soroya. Strong take for Brad Brechting. He's got 10 points tonight. Brechting had 10 points combined the last 2 games, and he's in double figures on 4 of 5 shooting. Lexus Williams misses the 3, Brechting the rebound. And a foul on Hammock. That is 3 on Shane Hammock, and it brings us to a timeout on the floor. Hammock and Valpo trying to get closer, but Oakland in control. Thank you, Chris. 65-54. Oakland the lead. 7:03 to go here in this second half of play. And Oakland is a team that is very calculated. Head coach Greg Campy, you see he's got his laminated paper out there. This is a coach who really buys into analytics. They take a look at a lot of numbers, and a lot of the lineups, a lot of what they do strategically is based off of the data they see.
So at a time like this, he wants to look at, okay, who can I go with to close the game out? And he's got different lineups if they're up 6 or more, if they're up 6 or less, if the game is tied, if they're down 6 and 6 or more. I mean, it's just unbelievable what information is out there and available. And he gets it through synergy. You know, and of course, we were able to tap into that same system to watch games, but to really see it being applied to a university and to your offense, and to look and say, okay, well, Martez Walker in transition, in contested shots, shoots 77% versus uncontested. I mean, that's unbelievable. And then you can take those numbers, right? Combine them with your gut feeling, and that's how you're able to coach with a little more confidence, knowing, hey, I've got some numbers and data to back it up, but I also know my guys.
Everyone always talks about sabermetrics in baseball, but basketball is certainly becoming a numbers sport too. Alec Peters between 2 players can't make it, then Max Joseph on the second chance, and he's fouled. Sharon Dorsey Walker picking up his 4th personal foul. Dorsey Walker's had a tough night tonight. 4 points on 1 of 7 shooting. And now in danger of fouling out as Max Joseph sinks the free throw.
There were so many Oakland defenders shading toward Peters. And he's taken 16 field goals tonight. The next highest is Shane Hammock, and he's with 9. So you know Peters is going to shoot the ball when he gets it, right? The metrics say so.
Right.
But you can't forget to box out on that backside, the weak side.
About a third of the possessions that Valpo has, Alec Peters is going to shoot the ball. And because of how good a passer he is, he can set up a lot of other baskets for his teammates, and he does. Brechting going strong to the hoop, and he's fouled. Saturday on ESPN, the SEC and ACC cap our full day of college hoops. At 6 Eastern, 13th ranked Kentucky is in Athens to take on Georgia. Then we'll take you to the Dean Smith Center in Chapel Hill, the site of this week's College Game Day, for our Saturday primetime game presented by AT&T. It's number 14 Virginia and number 10 North Carolina. Both games are also streaming live on the ESPN app and Watch ESPN.
Tell you what, I know the Georgia Bulldogs are real excited to get another shot at Kentucky after nearly knocking them off in Lexington. Boy, Yante Maton, he's a player to watch in that game. Big man for Georgia.
Brad Brechting's been a player to watch tonight for Oakland. He's tied a career high with 12 points. That one off of Oakland. Valpo will keep. 6:05 to go here in the second half. Golden Grizzlies a 14-point lead. And now Peters a 3. That's off target. The rebound Hayes. Braden Neely feeding it inside. Brechting working on Soroya, and a foul. So Jay Soroya has now picked up his 4th. And that's starting to become an issue for Valparaiso when every possession is so important for them down the stretch here, Brooke, because Soroya's got 4 fouls, Hammock's got 3, Walker was ejected, and Williams has 3.
Well, Oakland right now trying to score against the zone defense for Valpo, so that's why they're in the zone in the first place, because you've got players in foul trouble. Now that you can recognize that, and because Brechting's had such a good night, yeah, feed him. Let him go to work.
Brad Brechting cannot get the new career high because he clanked the free throws. Maybe he was thinking about that.
I have a feeling he's going to get another chance.
Very likely will. And now Peters coming around the screen from Soroya and buries the jumper. 22 tonight for Alec Peters. Will he be able to score enough to get Valpo back in it?
He had to execute that play perfectly coming off the screen, and that's why Valpo in their screen and roll offense is so good. Because when Peters comes off it, he's ready to shoot.
Brechting had that one redirected by Soroya. Hammock against Hayes, 15 to shoot for Valpo. Peters. And a foul on the floor against Martez Walker. That's his 2nd.
Martez Walker's done a good job tonight on Peters, but coming off the screen, Peters just going to rise and fire, and Brechting can't get out there fast enough. The reach not long enough.
Brad Brechting gets a nice ovation. He has had a heck of a game tonight. Martez Walker and Oakland, a 12-point advantage, and Peters misses another free throw. 90% shooter coming into tonight. He's missed a couple.
It's the power of the arena, Jordan. It'll do that.
We've seen that.
Yeah.
And now a foul coming up. Lexus Williams picks up his 4th personal. And Nick Daniels will go to the free throw line. Oakland 15 of 18 at the stripe tonight. Valpo just 3 of 8. And they normally shoot almost 80%. Well, Nick Daniels was more of a distributor the last time Oakland played against Detroit Mercy in a win last week. He had 7 assists. Tonight, he's got 15 points off the bench.
Well, I just really loved what Coach Campy had to say after their last game in the post-game press conference. He went in on all the things Nick Daniels needed to do better. He had a solid game and listed, A, B, and C about what he needed to do better. And he stopped mid-thought and he said, you know what, I should be more positive. Nick Daniels played a great game for us tonight. He's getting better. I just love the honesty. Coach Campy recognizing, hey, I got to be tough on my guys, but I got to show them a little bit of love too. And that's true. As a coach, as a player, I should say, I was fine with my coach being hard on me because I know he only wanted to make me a better player. But after a while, you got to show me some love. You got to bring my spirits back up. Don't kill my confidence.
Soroya knocks down the free throw. He's got 11 tonight. That's one of the balances, right, that a coach has to have to be able to be hard on you, but also appreciate the good things that you do.
Hey, as scorers, we're kind of like wide receivers. We know what we're capable of. We can bring the excitement, but we carry with us a little drama. Sometimes a chip on our shoulder. Got to massage that, know how to light the fire.
Jalen Hayes on the block against Soroya. Can't get the touch shot to go, and Soroya rebounds it out to Lexus Williams. Max Joseph, and a block by Brock.
Well, Joseph just fed that right to the throat of Brock. He didn't even have to do much for that one. But that's what he does. He intimidates you so much. You're just like, here, take the ball. On second thought, I don't want to go after this shot. I'm good.
There have been several Brock parties here this year, and now Hayes is fouled. And it brings us to another timeout. Alec Peters picking up the personal. But Oakland is up 12, 3:39 to go. Brock says no. Back here where Grizz is excited, certainly, because Oakland's got a 12-point lead, and it's been a Brock party here at the O Arena tonight. Isaiah has been difficult underneath.
Jordan, Brock with the block. I want you to say that quickly 4 times. It's harder than rivalry week. Go, do it. Brock with the block.
Brock with the block. Yeah, I can't. I'm going to leave that up to you.
Well, he just, stands there and gets blocks. The man has just got so many talents and such a huge upside.
Isaiah Brock, the decorated Army vet, Army Commendation Medal, National Defense Service Medal. This guy has had an amazing last few years, and now at age 22 getting a chance in college basketball, and you can see the tremendous athleticism. This guy has a real future.
He also grew 8 inches after high school, so he wasn't a player that got recruited heavily. Obviously spent a lot of time in the service and dealt with some extreme real-life issues that, have served him in a different way here on the court. His leadership and what he learned out on the battlefield. He's been able to bring in a college experience and, show the way for the rest of these guys, a lot of them being older than him, on how to live.
Coach Greg Campy discovering him when he went on a trip to Kuwait to meet soldiers, and a foul coming up on Lexus Williams, and that could be a very costly foul. It is for Williams' night because that is number 5 on the Valparaiso guard, so he's done for the night. And Martez Walker is going to go to the free throw line, but that has been one of the issues for Valparaiso down the stretch here, Brooke, is that there's been enough guys in foul trouble that normally a really, really good defensive team in Valpo has had to play just a little bit off, I think, and that is helping Oakland score tonight.
It's almost always the case, Jordan, that the more aggressive team will win the game. And the tone that Oakland set at the start of this game was, we're going to be more aggressive in the paint. We're going to push Peters out as far as we can. We're going to make Soroya work for his baskets. But we're also going to turn you over, and that's exactly what they've done. You see now Lexus Williams, he's gone. Soroya with 4, and Walker, who was ejected.
Now Shane Hammock pulls up for an open 3, can't hit. Soroya fouled underneath. Soroya doing everything he can tonight. Nick Daniels picking up the foul. Soroya, with his next point, would have a new career high in his freshman season. And there it is, 13 points tonight for the first-year player out of Spain.
Yeah, so think about the Valpo lineup and in the front court, what they've got. The future, Soroya, Derek Smith, so 7'2", both just big guys and different skills, right? Soroya with the physicality and Smits with the finesse.
Walker the three, no good. Daniels the rebound and the feed to Isaiah Brock.
I mean, that's swaggy P-ish. Call Nick Daniels Nick Young there, because that looks a heck of a lot like a Laker.
The gorgeous touch pass, and now Micah Bradford knocks it down from deep.
It's showtime.
.13-point lead for Oakland, and now a steal by Joseph Hemmink ahead of the pack and throws it down.
And no need for Oakland to rush through the end of this game. They can take their time, try to burn off some clock here.
Neither team had scored for about a 2.5-minute stretch. And Oakland's been able to maintain the lead, and they do it with the lob from Walker to Brock. Hemmink thought about the shot, doesn't take it. Now Joseph, the open three, rattles it home. Max Joseph ate off the bench tonight, but it may not be enough. The Oakland Golden Grizzlies, they hang on here. Move within one game of Valpo in the Horizon League standings with 4 games left and the tiebreaker having what would be a sweep of the Valparaiso Crusaders.
And Oakland with 16 assists tonight. You know, a lot of it's come off of the hustle, but off of the offensive rebound. And then Martez Walker going to feed Isaiah Brock. You know, I like the way they've looked out for each other tonight. This is a team full of scorers, but, you know, without a quote-unquote veteran point guard. They've made do with it.
Well, after Oakland lost that game against Detroit Mercy, they were trending in the wrong direction. If they win tonight, it's 5 straight wins. But, Brooke, both these teams know that even if you win the regular season title, it's definitely a nice thing. Both teams want to win it. But the reality is both these teams are going to be positioned well when we get to Motor City Madness in Detroit for the Horizon League Championship. And whoever wins that is going to get the real prize.
That's right. And, you know, we thought it was going to be these 2 teams in the championship last year. You know, instead, we saw Wright State and Green Bay, your 4 and 5 seeds if the tournament started today. You know, and that's the beauty of the NCAA tournament and the Horizon League. It's a very competitive league, and there's no easy wins, you know, night in and night out. But you'd have to think we're watching a preview of the championship. But, of course, Green Bay, the way they played, they came into this arena and absolutely destroyed Oakland, destroyed their confidence. You know, and even a Detroit Mercy who could get hot. You just never know who's going to show up in the final. With the whiteout here tonight at Oakland, the fans came out and represented.
They certainly did. And Oakland trying to win their 5th straight game now. And they really, the last 2 years in the Horizon League, have struggled a lot more at home than they have on the road after the travel. Brooke, the last 2 years, Oakland is 8-7 in this arena in conference games, as opposed to 14-2 on the road. So even though this should be a great home court advantage, it hasn't always been that. Tonight it certainly has been. Nick Daniels trying to feed underneath to Brock, but he keeps it. And now a foul on the Golden Grizzlies, or rather on the Crusaders. Alec Peters picking up the foul, his second. And Valparaiso on the brink of suffering its 3rd Horizon League defeat. Motor City Madness coming up just a couple of weeks from now. Joe Louis Arena. Matt Loddick is going to take his team into that tournament, either the 1 or 2 seed, you would think. Last year of this tournament at Joe Louis Arena before they move into the brand new, shiny new Little Caesars Arena next season.
And Alec Peters came out of that game after Hammock hits the 3. Alec Peters did not want to come out. He was not happy about that at all.
And now another foul coming up. Shane Hammock with his 4th. Alec Peters never wants to come off the floor. One of the most competitive guys, and why he's going to go down in Horizon League history. Peters 5th all-time in scoring in this league. Martez Walker has answered the bell tonight. 23 points. Peters and Valparaiso can only look on as Oakland set to sweep this regular season series. For the first time since 2007, when Oakland was a member of the Summit League. Long 3-try Bradford off target, out of bounds. I think it was a statement tonight from the Oakland Golden Grizzlies that they are surging at the right time.
And Matt Loddick calling off the defense here. Calling for no more fouls to finish this game out.
Braylon Neely dribbling it in the corner. The crowd at the arena very appreciative of the effort tonight.
Well, Greg Campion, his 1,000th game. A huge win for Oakland. This one's going to mean a lot when it comes tournament time. It doesn't get them to the tournament now. Certainly gives them the confidence they need to know they've beaten the top dog in the league twice in the regular season.
And the clock will run out as Bradford throws up the 3 at the buzzer. A grand win for the Oakland Golden Grizzlies in Greg Campy's 1,000th game. He picks up victory number 578. And the Golden Grizzlies have their 20th win as they knock off Valparaiso 82-71. Well, for Brooks Jordan Burnfield, thank you for giving us again the final score. Oakland 82, Valparaiso 71. Let's send you now to VCU and Richmond with Mike Corey and Kyle Macy. Good night, everybody.